Hey, everyone. Happy Sunday. We are coming live in both Deb's Autism Mamas group and also the Roadmap to Mental Wellness today with an important topic to talk about, right? How to help our families really thrive with more emotional balance, more stress resilience. And Deb comes from a background with her, she's a licensed therapist, but also she's a mom of an autistic daughter. And so she has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, right? We're both moms, just carrying our message forward about our experience and how we really have found a solution that helps not only us as moms, but our kids, right? So if you are coming on live, just let us know in the comments. We are excited to chat today. We're excited to make this more of an interactive. Put your questions and comments in the comment box. And if you're catching it on the replay, do the same. Put replay in the comments, listen, interact, ask your questions, because this conversation is meant to help families, right? Families like ours, families like yours. And we really want to get the message out, the solutions out, and get them in the hands of the families that really could use them. So welcome, Deb.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Doing great. Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, so let me share my screen. I have some screens just to share, and we'll see if technology cooperates. And let me know if you can. So we have Emily from Sacramento. That's exciting. Hi, Emily. And you have two. Oh, awesome.
Ages 2 and 4. Okay, great. Thank you for coming on. This will be great information, helpful.
All right, I think I finally figured it out.
Wonderful.
Yay, can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to be talking about how we can improve our emotional balance for you as a mom, right? We're mostly talking to moms here, but it could be a parent, it could be a dad, and our kids, by introducing this whole idea of balancing the gut-brain connection. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about, what is the gut microbiome, right? Like a couple years ago, I had no idea. And first of all, I don't think I introduced myself. Colleen Sullivan. I am an ADHD holistic solution coach, mom of 2 grown children, and my son suffered and struggled with ADHD. So it's different than autism, but it's still a gut-brain connection disorder. And often we think everything is up here in the brain, but it really stems from the imbalances in our gut, right? And that link to improving our behavior and creating a more emotionally balanced state. And we're going to be talking about what do we put in, what do we want to add into our gut microbiome, right? Why the specific prebiotic fibers and specific strains of probiotics matter, right? Which strain they are. And really simple and natural protocols to address these imbalances. And how they can really reduce symptoms that we see in whether it's ADHD or autistic children, lower inflammation and improve digestion. We know that is a factor with a lot of kids. It can improve sleep and improve that stress resilience that we're looking for. And why is this so important, right? As moms, Deb and I know firsthand that we want our children to be calm and have that balance, right? They have a lot of things going on in their brain that's causing irritation, irritability, stress, anxiety. And as moms, as parents, it's overwhelming and stressful to navigate what can really help, right? We want less worry as a parent, as a mama. And we as parents want to feel more balanced and resilience to stress so we can be there in a better state to help our families. We want solutions that work, but are also safe and gentle, right? And we want to create, I know Deb talks a lot about this in her group. We want to create a more peace and joy in the home, right? Because amidst all the chaos, amidst the stress, we can find that place where there's more peace, there's more balance, there's more joy, and that's what is so important. Right. So here's Deb and her beautiful, beautiful daughter, Meg, who I've had the opportunity to meet several times, and she's just a joy. And this is me and my older son, Eamon. He was diagnosed at a young age with ADHD, age 6. And I struggled, trying to navigate what is the right solution, what can really help, but is also safe in the long run, right? So Deb, why don't you just share a little bit about your journey, your experience, and how Meg is doing?
Absolutely. Thank you, Colleen, and thank you for sharing in both of our groups today. This information is just going to be helpful to so many in getting it out to other families that might not have learned about it yet. Meg is 17 now. She'll be 18 this spring, which is just unbelievable. So we've been on this journey for, she was diagnosed very young at 20 months old. So we've been on this journey since 2006. So, early on, I was fortunate to work with some amazing doctors that just have given their lives to autism research and treatment. And that was when I first heard about the gut-brain connection, and that a lot of what we were seeing in Meg and what a lot of us see in many children on the spectrum, what we see is an imbalance of the microbiome. So, Meg has been gluten-free since a little over 2 years old, gluten and dairy-free. She's thankfully had a lot of healing and can have a little bit of dairy here and there. We still remain completely gluten-free. Makes a huge difference. And so on our journey, one of the areas that was a specific focus and seemed to be helping a lot of children in addition to the gluten casein-free diet was going deeper and treating the microbiome and getting balanced. And, with that, of course, came supplementation and trying probiotics. And I went years of trying to find the right probiotic. And the struggle was that Meg was, it's supposed to, improve mood and behavior and reduce stress resilience and make transitions easier. But her body wasn't assimilating the products that we were trying, and it was having an opposite reaction. So I had to keep pulling back. So 2 years, a little over almost 2.5 years ago, when Colleen introduced me to Amare and the kids' Mentibiotics. It's a prebiotic probiotic blend, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But what I've learned is that the specific strains of the prebiotic and probiotic really matter, and which ones work specifically for children affected by autism and ADHD, and the reason behind that. And so then introducing that, wow, what a difference. So gentle on her body, did not have any negative reactions, and just was able to find this comprehensive, basically 3 or 4 step system that we put into our day. And it just gave her, increased calm, and the helping with the constipation, because I know a lot of you that are tuning in or might catch us on the replay, our kiddos really struggle often with either constipation or diarrhea, and that has to do with the imbalance of the bacteria in the gut. and not having enough of the good bacteria. So this brought this balance for Meg, and I just have to share it with others. And, and just it's been just wonderful to see the changes and be able to share with other families as they implement. And to me, it was a big deal as well when her holistic doctor also was like, oh, this is great, keep giving it to her. And that was huge. And that her school is very holistic minded, and they implement when she's at school and she's not with me. So I just really, to me, that was also so reinforcing, to have those professionals that really work on a holistic, natural, basis with our children to say, yep, go ahead, this looks good. Because I know I've had that question a lot. They're like, hey, I want to share this with my doctor. I'm like, absolutely, because then they can see those the specificity of the strains and how clean these supplements are for our kids. So yeah, that's just, and I'm just excited to be here and to continue sharing it with other families.
Wow, Deb, that just speaks volumes, right? You being a voice as a mom that, went through years of researching and years of experimenting, trying to find that right fit, and then having your holistic doctors, the school care, everyone, reinforce, validate that, yes, this is a great solution. Meg is responding. She's feeling the benefits. It's awesome. And this is why we share our stories, right? We bring hope to other families that this can not only work for our children, but it can work for your kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome stuff. And, you learned early on this connection of the gut and the brain and autism symptoms. And this is what we're here to talk about, right? So we know the stats, 1 in 44 kids in the US are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. And autism is one of those many brain gut dysfunction diseases, right? Like you said, Deb, most children suffer from constipation and leaky gut caused by the imbalance in their gut bacteria, right? And this leads to those brain issues of more irritability and more emotional imbalance. Right. And the emerging science, while it's relatively new, it's been there. It's just this particular company has taken this emerging science and really formulated something that can have meaningful impact on our lives. It can really help. It's not just sitting in some clinical research paper. It's actually taking the science and making it meaningful and usable. And that's what I love about this company. It's taking the science of the gut-brain connection. Our gut is our second brain. I'd actually like to look at it as our first brain, because most of the chemical signals are coming from the gut up to the brain. Even though it's like that two-way highway, most of the communication is coming down up, right? And it's a real source and root that we can look at to address a lot of these mental wellness issues, how we feel, how we perform, how we communicate and react. And it's just been a wonderful tool. So why are we looking at the gut, the second brain, and why are we looking at the axis, the communication between the gut and the brain? Why is it so important? Well, we now know that if we replenish our gut microbiome with more good bacteria, we're going to create more of our feel-good neurotransmitters. Those are the signals that come from the gut up to the brain that tell us we're happy. So there's the serotonin. Dopamine tells us when, we're feeling motivated, when we have that, kind of motivation to get something done. The GABA, our relaxation neurotransmitter, huge, right? For us mamas and our kids. Norepinephrine helps us with focus. So all these signals are created in the gut. And when we have an imbalance, when we have more of the wrong kind of the bacteria in our gut, it leads to improper signaling, right? Such as irritability, sadness, anxiousness, lack of focus, depression. It's when our brain is receiving these improper signals, and the gut, we now know, talks to our brain through several different ways. It talks through our hormones, such as cortisol. It talks through these neurotransmitters. We said up to 95% of these neurotransmitters are created in the gut. And it also talks through our vagus nerve. So that's where our nervous system comes, really plays an important role in how we regulate our nervous system. And why, as Deb mentioned earlier, it's really important to know which prebiotic fiber you're using, which probiotic strain you're using, and that can be hugely confusing, right? You go to the store, you think you're going to even a nature store or Whole Foods, and the shelf is lined with all these probiotics. Which one? And you can just pick up one and you don't know what it's doing. So I advise everyone to, at the end of this discussion, you're going to want to get these probiotics, but really flip your label around and look at it. If it does not have a strain number after the bacteria, you do not know what the probiotic is doing. It could be for constipation, it could be for diarrhea, it can be for immune health, and it could also be for improving these feel-good neurotransmitters, which we're going to be talking about. So when we change the bacteria in our gut and feed it the right prebiotic fibers, the right food, we can improve how we feel and behave, right? So adding in the good bacteria, adding in the specific fibers that match up with the good bacteria to allow the good bacteria to flourish. Otherwise, they're just going to die right off. We create a healthier, diverse microbiome. And when we create a diverse microbiome, we're going to have a healthy body and we're going to have a healthy mind, right? So, which probiotic strains are in our kids' our gut product and our adult? It's these 3 specific strains. And if you can see, they're all targeting how we feel and how we perform. So this first one, I'm not even going to, I can pronounce them, but I'm not going to. Lactobacillus rhamnosus, R0011. This R0011, guys, that's what's important, right? So we know that this strain reduces stress by lowering cortisol. And guys, cortisol is the root of many issues. It also improves GABA neurotransmission. GABA is the most relaxing neurotransmitter, right? So when we are faced with stress, when we are faced with like a heightened, stress situation, that GABA plays an important role to say, hey, I got this. Everything's okay. I'm calm. Okay. Bifidobacterium longum R0175. So if it doesn't have that R0175, you don't know what it's doing. This enhances calmness by decreasing anxiety indices and also improves cognition function. So there is that gut-brain connection right there. Lactobacillus helveticus R0052 improves mood by decreasing neuroinflammation. So this is nervous system inflammation. So helpful, right, Deb? For kids.
Yes, agreed. A lot of times when we are seeing certain things in our children, it's inflammation and, related to the leaky gut. And I've always said with Meg over the years, when there is, a symptom I'm seeing or just kind of something that's new popped up, it's always comes down to a biophysiological underlying issue. And if I can give her the tools and the nutrition that she needs to help that, then everything else that we're learning in therapy in school goes so much more smoothly for her.
Yeah.
So a big thing is inflammation in our kids. And when we get to the root of that and bring it down, then they're in a much better place for learning and language and interaction and socialization. So
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that inflammation, a lot of times you hear that inflammation is the root of all disease, but really inflammation is a signal that it's telling us that something is off in our body, right? And and here we go with increasing serotonin as well. And serotonin is often thought of as a brain, something that we need to populate in the brain, but 95% of our serotonin is created in the gut. And we've talked about leaky gut. If we have leaky gut, which means things are kind of leaking through the gut and getting into our bloodstream, it's also getting in up to our brain. So we have leaky brain, and that's when the inflammation is creating havoc in our brain. Right. And here we have these specific prebiotic fibers. And this is what is so genius about these formulations. And it's never been done in any other formulations, guys, is that the scientist who formulated, Dr. Sean Talbot, he took the exact prebiotic fibers, or he took the probiotic strains and he matched up their desired food source. So these are matching up so the good bacteria can flourish and they can start starving out the bad guys that are creating those improper signals. So we have these three prebiotic fibers, and two of them they were included in a clinical study in the UK and Japan with a group of autistic children. And they wanted to test out the two prebiotic fibers. I think it was the last two here. And they saw an improvement just by adding in these prebiotic fibers. They saw an improvement in the behavior of these autistic children. So not only are we getting the benefits of the prebiotic fibers, and you see one of them here helping maintain immune health, which is how our gut communicates with our brain, and also controls inflammation. So it matters what prebiotic fibers we are using, right? And when these are put together and we get the gut and the brain talking to each other the way just in a more efficient manner, we see that everything works better, right? Our behavior, we're seeing more positivity, more happiness, more joy. It's a great thing. And this is just how they are matched up, right? And it's not done in any other formulations, guys. This is just a genius solution and tool. Right. And then there's some unsung hero ingredients in this gut brain axis formulation. And I just wanted to mention a few of them because they play such an important role in what we're trying to achieve here. So we have L-theanine, and I have my notes right beside me, guys. And this is a relaxing and calming amino acid. And we also, in these formulations, we do not use generic ingredients. We use the patent ingredient that was included in the study, so you know that you're going to get the results that the study is identifying, right? And L-theanine can also be an adaptogenic. It can convert to L-glutamine, which I'm going to mention in a second. It can also convert to serotonin, and it can also convert to melatonin depending on what your body needs. Right? And this is in both the kids and the adult formulation. It decreases tension and anxiety and creates that more calm alertness, right? We don't want to create such a calm where we're feeling drowsy and kind of out of it. We want that calm but alert state. And that's what the L-theanine helps with. We have L-glutamine, which is also amino acid. It's this is an important one for autism. It's the primary food that the cells that line your intestines eat. So it helps with that gut-brain barrier, or that gut barrier function and leaky gut, right? To prevent the toxins from getting into your bloodstream and into your brain. We also have a digestive blend. And Deb, I have to believe that this digestive blend is really helping because of the kiddo's sensitive digestive system.
Absolutely. The ginger is just a key element for sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we have these, a blend of these phytobiotics, which are in a lot of our products that contain antioxidants, flavonoids, anti-inflammatory properties. New Zealand pine bark supports mental function and concentration. So we're all about the gut, the brain, and the access, and creating this harmony within our bodies, right?
Absolutely. And Colleen, it kind of struck me as you were talking about the L-theanine. I know that any parents listening or watching on the replay, ears perked up about it converting to melatonin because our kiddos have such a difficulty sleeping and producing melatonin naturally. So it's really great to know that that's within this comprehensive system that can really benefit.
Very comprehensive. I think that's a great word for it, Deb.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the solution and how do we get started? So this is the comprehensive kids solution, right? It comes with this whole gut-brain access powder that you can mix in with a smoothie, you can mix in with a drink. It depending on how imbalanced your child's microbiome is, it may have a bitter taste in the beginning, because that's a sign that we have some imbalances. But Deb, how does Meg take hers? You make a smoothie for her?
Yes, a combination of ways. My favorite way is to do a smoothie in the morning. I see you've got your happy juice, love it. And so I put the kids' mentobiotics in that, the Kids Smooth Plus. I add some superfoods and seed fiber. And the Vita GBX is chewable. She does fine. It's got a good taste to it. She chews that up, and then really later in the day, if she needs that second Kids Mood Plus around 4 o'clock, it can just be mixed in some water or some light juice. And she drinks it that way as well. So there's different ways, because I know our children can be sensitive to textures and trying new things. So there's different creative ways. Sometimes just even, if you've got the like coconut yogurt, you can put a little of the kids' mentobiotics in that and seed fiber blend, or if there's the gluten-free oatmeal in the morning, there's just little tricks. The smoothie, definitely, I find I can get pretty much the whole system into one drink and then we're good to go for the day. Yeah.
Love it. And this powder is the complete gut-brain access solution right in this powder. And it contains all the ingredients that we just talked about: the prebiotics, the probiotics, the phytobiotics, the L-glutenine, the beta-glutenine, the, what am I forgetting? The digestive blend, and the L-theanine. It has all of that in it. No other product out there like it. None.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Kids Mood Plus, I meant to have one on hand just to show you. It's a pixie stick. It's just a little powder pixie stick that you can take it right direct to tongue, or you can mix it in with water or a smoothie or what Deb just described. And this product has been clinically tested. Once again, it has some really powerful herbs, ingredients, an Afrin patented saffron extract. So it's not the saffron spice that you pull out of your spice drawer. It's an extract that helps normalize serotonin and dopamine activity. So guys, this is science that has a real impact on how we feel and perform, right? It reduces cellular damage. It lowers stress hormones, the cortisol. So if your child has, some, irritability going on, some stress, some anxiety, this can be really fast acting and can help a lot of situations, right? There it is.
It's a little packet just Real
That's
quick.
good, right, Deb? This is not just for kids.
No, right? Yes, definitely for us too. But yep, just one simple little packet, and in it goes. And I noticed about 5 to 10 minutes later, just kind of
Yeah.
a nice calm through Meg. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that mom stress and overwhelm, you're in a situation where just the overwhelm is coming over you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the pixie sticks, it truly helps. And you see what's in it: saffron, holy basil, rosemary, right? And you can read all the benefits of each of these ingredients. Helps support the immune system, mental focus, positivity, resilience, calm the body, calm the mind, anti-inflammatory. Wow, right? Just in this one tool. And what I love to say is that the clinical studies show that it was equivalent to Ritalin for focus and Prozac for anxiety and depression in other countries. So other countries turn to these herbs as first-line therapies before they are recommending meds.
Yes.
So I love this Kids Mood Plus. And then the sleep. So we know the L-theanine can help convert to melatonin. I urge parents not to turn to the synthetic melatonin, the over-counter synthetic melatonin. It actually disrupts your body's ability to produce it on its own. And this product, it's safe for kids, it's safe for adults, everyone, will actually has a unique corngrass extract that encourages your body's own production of melatonin, right? And once again, it's an adaptogenic. During the day, it'll produce more serotonin, and at night, it takes your cue from your brain that it's nighttime, and it'll convert to more melatonin. And it allows us to fall asleep faster. And this 5-HTP also helps with that. Fall asleep faster, stay in a more quality sleep. So your REM sleep where your brain restores, and deep sleep where your body restores longer. So you're getting that more quality sleep. And Deb, you and Meg use the sleep.
We do, and I think just a big part of what you were mentioning, the importance of how it is different from taking the melatonin straight, is that it helps your body naturally produce it. And one thing that I hear over and over again from parents, and that I've experienced myself, is that the straight over the counter melatonin might work for a little bit, but then our kiddos get resistance and it's not helping anymore. And so what I find for both of us, first of all, to me, that was a big deal, that it will help her produce it naturally. And then also the 5-HTP, because I was familiar with that over the years. And so also having that in there as well. And what I noticed myself is waking up feeling rejuvenated and energized. So you don't wake up groggy from it. You sleep better, sleep deeper, and then wake up and just this mental clarity that isn't there with the straight melatonin.
Yes, that's what I love. Really, you do wake up really refreshed, re-energized, and ready for a whole new day, right? And that, every day brings on its stresses. And if you start your day off not feeling right, imagine how the rest of your day will go, right? And I love how Dr. Sean always says, if we can kind of increase the number of good night sleeps and increase the number of good days and have that cycle repeat, imagine how we'll just feel in the long run, right? And I'm just introducing some products that I know have helped Deb and Meg out. Seed fiber is another one. And while it's a fiber and can help, add more fiber into our diets, which we all need, it has this unique blend of a mushroom blend that supports the RNA signaling between the microbiome and the nervous system. So here we go again, involving the nervous system and really kind of managing that stress response from the nervous system. So we feel less stress, we feel less tension, we feel less anxiety. And I know I add this into my smoothie. I add it into, if I'm baking, my oatmeal, my overnight oats. I add it into a lot of things.
Absolutely. And there's been recent research about the mushroom extracts and the calming effects on the nervous system. So that's been something more recent that I've heard from the holistic doctors that I speak with regularly. So really
Awesome.
cool that it's in a powder ready to go.
Love it. Love it. Love all the other validation that we're getting on the ingredients that we're using. And then this superfoods is another add-on that you can add to just water. And you're going to probably say, Colleen, no, I've used superfoods before and they taste like grass. But this one is a sweet appleberry flavor. And the flavor is not coming from the sugar. They're coming from natural fruit extracts. Okay. And this superfoods delivers more anti-stress benefits, right? It's protecting at the cellular level. So the stress does not kind of amplify into our body, into our brain. And it really helps our brain and gut work at their peak efficiency, right? So once again, that gut-brain axis helps with brain health, and it helps alleviate stress. So another great add-on, you can put the kids' fundamentals, the seed fiber, and the superfoods all in one, and it's like make a huge impact, right?
Absolutely.
So I know Deb in her group talks a lot about us mamas as caretakers, how we often kind of put our self-care on the back burner and we put all our focus on our kids, which, we mean well. We want our kids to do well. We want our kids to feel well. But our kids also need us to be happy, strong, resilient, and not depleted, right? We're often going through our days exhausted mentally and physically, right?
Absolutely. Yes. So I am
I hit the button.
very big. I am very big on self-care for caregivers, moms, dads, grandparents who are ever in that caregiving role for our kiddos. Sorry to be like going back to research again, but it just really rings true. So, in the past, I think 5 years, I've seen it popping up more and more. The reality of being in that 24/7 hypervigilance as a special needs parent, is really being compared to the hypervigilance of a soldier and the PTSD and trauma that can come, especially earlier on the diagnosis. And before certain things are brought in, as far as treatment and diet and holistic solutions and therapists and the school piece and the IEP, so many caregivers are going on no sleep and just kind of jumping into that superhero role and forget to take care of themselves. And I speak from personal experience. And this is why this is a big part of my parent coaching and wellness side of what I do as a therapist, because firsthand, I know what it's like to forget to do that and hit the wall. And so bringing this into my regimen as a mom, allows me to also heal and fill my cup and not be depleted and have the things that my body needs to have emotional balance myself and feel strong for the day. So for me, it's been a big piece, because as we bring that on and caregivers are feeling better, and then you're bringing in these pieces of the holistic supplementation and diet for the children, we're treating a lot of the underlying things that are going on at that point also in the caregiver, as they're going on the child. So the inflammation, the underlying immune disorders that happen in some of our kiddos. and keeping our physical health, if it hasn't already started creeping down, if we haven't been taking care of our physical health and mental health, bringing it back to balance. And that just contributes to, creating that emotional balance in the home and how important that is. And for me as a therapist, to me, it's very important to share this piece because this is a foundational piece. And so the strategies and the tools that I teach in therapy when I'm working with families, affected by ADHD and autism, if we have this foundational piece, then there's energy to implement the strategies. There's calmness, there's stress resilience. The children have improved in their transitions. And so then implementing those tools, whether it's myself as a parent coach or a child therapist that's working, one-on-one with the kiddos, we're in a much better position to have those be even more and more successful for our children's progress.
Wow, Deb, you just hit a really important factor in this because, I think a lot of special needs families are going through therapy and different other tools, but if they're not equipped with that resilience and that calmness and that, that calm mind, they're not going to be receiving the therapy in the way that it could really benefit them, right? Mm-hmm. And I love for mamas, I love this. We've coined it happy juice for a reason, not just to be cute and gimmicky. It has the mentobiotics in it that we just described. That's in the kids fundamentals, the pre, pro, and phytobiotics. That's going to create that balance in the gut microbiome. It has the energy, which is more mental energy. And you said it, Deb, the best is often we are exhausted, but it's not the physical energy. It's the mental energy that is causing us to hit that wall, right? And the energy helps with that. And then our edge is just a boost in mood, motivation, metabolism, and having a balanced metabolic state is not only, for weight. We always equate metabolism with weight. It's for energy, for stamina, for endurance, to kind of get through those long days. And Edge is a really great tool, but you put them all together and you have this coordinated, balanced, happy juice, right?
Yes, and it feels great.
Right? Great tool for us moms. I know I don't miss a day, and I'm still kind of drinking mine.
Yes, and you feel knowing what you're putting in your body. And it being able to be something, I think a big thing that comes up for caregivers to start implementing self-care is, I don't have the time. And so for me, this was something that I can implement into the day and drink it throughout the day and make it while I'm making my daughter's smoothie, or we share a smoothie together. And then later in the day, if she's having her kids' Mood Plus again, I can have some happy juice. So it's something we can do together and as a family for, everybody's health and stamina and mental well-being, and just knowing what it is and that it's natural and holistic, and it's creating that mindful balance of what we put in our bodies while we're working so hard to put the right things in our kiddos' bodies. We're doing the same for ourselves, so that we're
right. And one thing I didn't mention on the phytobiotics is that all those antioxidants are really preventing our bodies from like rusting away. Like if you think of that oxidative, stress state, it's kind of rusting our cells and not only are we not going to age well, our brain is going to be fried out. Like we're just going to be spent. And protecting our bodies, protecting our brains with these phytonutrients is so key. It really is. So another tool that I want to talk about is this Mood Plus. And all I can say, guys, is that this is, I don't even know what I want to say about this product.
I don't go a day without it. I know. Yeah.
You can see it. It's, it's not only, I know a lot of moms, they go out and they just pick up ashwagandha off the shelf. This not only has ashwagandha, and these are not generic brands. These are patent proprietary brands that are, sourced at their highest quality. Ashwagandha promotes stress relief, enhances focus and mood. Rafuma boosts mood, reduces feelings of depression, increases serotonin production. Kana alleviates lower stress hormone levels, that cortisol again increases energy and motivation. Magnolia bark in the Relora form regulates mood, anxiety levels, and creates calmness without that drowsiness. So you are supporting your mood from all different angles, not just from the anxiety, not from stress, not from mood, focus. It's supporting it from all different levels that you can just feel your best. So I highly recommend this mood support, not only for mood, but for cognitive function as well. My son with ADHD takes this, and it helps him with his focus.
Wonderful.
Just think about it. If we're less anxious, we're going to be more calm and more focused, right? And then we also, for a mama tool, is we have a mental focus. And I love this product. It is just, think of it as just superpower for your brain. Okay. It helps with sharpness, clarity, creativity, cognitive functioning. Once again, my son with ADHD takes this. I take it. It's like de-aging your brain by 12 years. So if you ever kind of walk into a room and you're like, why did I walk in here? Or if you're ever driving and you just think, how did I get from point A to B?
Right.
This is that mental recall, and it just sharpens our tool, our mental tool. So we can maintain our mental sharpness as we age, right? Think about, like, I would love to go back, have my brain function like it's 12 years ago. So that's another great tool. And guys, as we're presenting these tools, I hope that, something is resonating with you, that this gut-brain connection is such a powerful tool. And it can not only help our kids, but it can help us bring more calm and more of a balanced state into our homes, right? And we can't forget, like Deb said, we cannot forget about taking care of ourselves. So while these tools and solutions, we're talking about how we can help our kids with their disorders, but we also have to keep in mind that we have to keep our mental resilience up as well. And, Deb, I love how Deb, what she offers in her Autism Mamas group is, creating a more emotionally balanced home. Because we know it's not only for our kids, it's not only for our the parents, it's for siblings, it's for the entire family.
Absolutely.
Right. And so there's always a starting point with these solutions. And I love kind of bundling together, kind of like a mama's toolkit and then a kid's toolkit, and bundling them together for the family. So for like mamas, we suggest, the happy juice, even standalone happy juice can really help. But if you'd like to bundle, you can save on some of these other products, the Menta Focus that we talked about, the mood and sleep. And then for the kiddos, they have that all comprehensive pack, which is a great starting point. But bundling in the superfoods, the seed fiber, to mix the mentabiotics in with, and the sleep as well. If something resonated, if something spoke to you, and you are ready to evaluate these products, guys, it's a money back guarantee. This company is so stands by their products so much that in a whole full year, you can send back empty bottles for a full money back guarantee, because they want the solutions to work for you and your family, right? So, and we can also customize a personalized recommendation for your family as well. There's products that we haven't even talked about, solutions. And if you are ready, like you are like, I need this, my kiddo needs this, I need this, just get started in the comments. If you're in Deb's group, just drop get started and she will reach back out to you. If you are in the Roadmap to Mental Wellness group, tag the person who invited you so we can get back to you and answer any questions. And finally, if you found value in what we are talking about today, just put value in the comments. And if you are new to trying these solutions, we have a $10 promo code just to get you started as well. Debbie, do you have anything else to add before we end the conversation?
It just that, this is just such important information, and I'm so glad that we were able to get it out there today. And anybody listening live or on the replay, just reaching out with any questions. And just to reiterate what Colleen said, one of the fabulous pieces is that, there's the money back guarantee. And the reason I bring that back up again is that it takes time as you're implementing for your children, diet and holistic natural supplementation. And, I've had many parents come back and say, I went gluten-free for a week, or I tried this, probiotic or melatonin or whatever for a week and it didn't work. And, like I mentioned, I know we're all on this journey, and when we commit and this something speaks to us like this, that, okay, this, could, really make a difference in my child's day and my family's home, and just emotional balance within the home, and for the caregivers, siblings, everybody, really, it's for the whole family, to give it time and to get used to the implementation of it, and to be able to kind of sit back and notice what you notice in your child improving and what you notice in yourself improving. Just really be in tune to it and give it that time.
Yes, Deb, you brought up a really important point in that I always tell people at least give it 90 days, right? And see how, because it takes that time to have your microbiome shift. You are shifting around, the biochemistry in your body. And often, depends on how much the imbalances are. Often, you might even feel a little worse before you get better, right? Because that good bacteria is pushing out some of the bad stuff, and you have to give it time. So thank you for bringing up that point. And thank you for sharing today and talking with our groups. And I look forward to interacting with more of the mamas in our groups, and getting these solutions in the hands that people that really could use them.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.